Hello, hello, my lovely guardians. Okay, so we're in the bottom side. I believe that is the blue side of the map, or maybe the red side of the map. Anyway, we're going as Nunu, and our entire team is basically tanks. Depending on how Gragas, he might go a little AP early to get a little bit of damage. But the way that he scales is he benefits of high health. So late game, we're going to be monsters. However, with their enemy team comp, Warwick is going to have to learn, or Warwick is going to have to influence a certain lane, and I think Warwick's best bet is to influence the bot lane, because Nasus is just going to farm. He's not really going to look to engage, so he's going to play as safely as possible, or at least you would think he would play as safely as possible. I don't really understand the point of putting yourself in the brush, except to discover that someone's in the brush. You have to walk away, but you have no power as Nasus early game. You have to farm up. Gragas is pretty good at survivability, so we're going to concentrate our wards on protecting the Gragas. Alright, so he's gonna get some free damage on the Gragas. Alright. I'm gonna head in. Bard's gonna waste some time. I don't know what they're doing. Guess they're trying some tricky business. But I personally don't see that working. Just because our team does not do a lot of damage early on. I mean, I don't even have to look over there to realize that. We're gonna put a ward over. And we're going to use the little hoppy thing. Alright, that's all I wanted, him to below flash. He's healthy enough to sustain now. But I took the blue. He might have my red might be gone. One common thing I've been seeing is oh, it's not stolen. Awesome. That is some awesome news right there. So I guess Warwick did my blue, or he took some crazy route, man. And I gotta smite this. Smite it up a little early there. But all is well because we found the Warwick. Oh, close. I did realize that he was over there, but it did not give our Gnosis enough time to react. Okay, so that's gone. Nice. Alright, so we're gonna pull this out. We're gonna see if we can get some action here. Now, one of the bad things is this will delay. I would like someone to come back and help me. Alright, thank you. That is what I am talking about. That is what I am talking about. Those early dragons. Gonna get that. Change that to that. Head on out. Now it looks like, I guess I'll have to come over here. Maybe. We have... no, it's up. Alright, that was a little rough, but we might kill him. There we go. But yeah, he used his ultimate on us. I did not take that into account, sadly. But yeah, he gained my stats, essentially. Like, when he used his ultimate, he gained all that health. Alright, we're gonna board that side. Mr. Gragas. Alright, we're gonna try to steal what we can from down here. Yes, yes, I will gladly steal you. The Vigar is actually not coming to help. That's gonna be beneficial to us. Although he is going to push that into tower. Alright, so we're going to grab level 3. And Gnosis... yeah, Gnosis is not going to... he's just not powerful enough. We're gonna get some quick vision. Okay. Alright, so this is bad for me. I should be dead. Okay. So things are getting a little out of hand, a little too soon. We have to make sure that our turrets are going to be healthy. This is probably gone. Yeah, this is gone. Gnosis, this is going to be a little harder for some of the actions that I've been taking. But yeah, as you can do silly things, you're gonna notice that people are gonna have a variety of things to say in the chat. But the best thing to go about it is not even acknowledging it. Okay. Alright, we're taking care of the Gnosis just by hitting that. Alright, let's see if we can get out. Alright, can't get out. Gnosis is gonna make the wrong decision. But I think we'll be okay. Right now, the top is pretty sticky. Okay. That was some bad macroing coming from the Gnosis. Now our damage spike is starting to come out. But they have to be fully aware of their limitations here. So that's why they have to make these aggressive plays here. It's because they are going to fall off big time. And Gnosis is still not at a point where he's a lot stronger. But we're at 12 minutes, and we really won't enter a stage in the game until about 20 minutes, I think. Alright, so this Bard is done for. Okay. Maybe not. Okay, that was pretty nice from that. Alright, there we go. So that was a bit of a turnaround, a little tiny bit of a turnaround. They did get Dragon off that, but we still need to farm out until about 20 minutes, and then our spike will start really coming out. But even then, we can still make mistakes, because right now I think Tristana. Okay, the rest of them aren't doing so bad. It's really bottom lane that got the majority of the problems there. I'm gonna finish up this farm. He has to get out. He's still not strong enough. Alright, Bard left, so we're not going to... Alright, so that's one thing that we gotta remind ourselves of the Bard. Let's see, what should we get? I think we're gonna get, that item, and those items and that item. Upgrade that. Yeah, but what the Gnosis doesn't understand currently... There we go. Alright, so... this is probably going to be the best time to try to do this. We'll get things set up. Put that over there. Try to do this as quick as possible. Try to get up. There we go. Looking good so far. Alright, so we can probably throw this up top. Because, let's see if Trundle has, Trundle still has, teleport. So I'm just gonna throw this into his tower and then leave it there. He'll go back, and he will deal with that. And one of the things that's interesting about the Rift Herald, you can kind of control where people have to be. But right now, alright, so we're gonna ward this down here. So we don't even have to engage here. Alright. Let's see if I'm saved. Okay. That went pretty well. We're gonna look to... get some action. Be interesting. Alright, looking at 680. Nice, nice. Just want to get this. Alright. Now I do want to send this Rift Herald mid lane or wherever. Alright. Here we go. Alright, so we'll get that for free, basically. Did we get it? Oh, we didn't get it. Well, that's a bummer. Alright, we're gonna... clear on out. He can be... that guy, oh my goodness, he can be annoying. I'm gonna stick around though. Push this. Alright, gonna get out of here because the Warwick's coming. The Warwick's actually away from his team, so that's not good for their team. Alright. Set up some misplays there. But that's alright. Because we're getting later and later into the game. And we are past 20 minutes here. So this is the point where we are quite powerful. Because all of our team is pretty much late game, except for the Gragas. Alright, so we're going to go back. We are going to get it from Frozen Heart action. And what else? What else do we need? Yeah, we're going to need some Spirit Visage action. Okay. And then we're going to work on controlling the Baron area. Let's speed up our guy here. Alright, gonna get it out of there. Flash. So our group is getting there. I'll have to take this way around. They're gonna get dragon, unfortunately. Yeah, they're dead. Their positioning was not correct. Positioning, not lag. Alright, so I might have to steal a Baron or something. Callista will be up in 20... Alright. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo! Get me out of here. My goodness. Alright, so we're going to drop that item and then get that item. Now they're gonna destroy Baron pretty darn quickly. So I'm gonna have to... Alright, looking at... Got it. Alright, I'm peacing out. Alright, nice. Nice work. Woo-hoo-hoo! The smite heard round the world right there. Alright, that's fine. We don't have to worry about that. I guess they'll try to push, top tower, but I don't think that's a good idea for them. Okay, they went a little too far. Oh, wow, he's still alive. Stop, re-engaging. Don't pay attention to others' actions, just your own mistakes. Alright, so this game is over. So yeah, we made a whole lot of mistakes, and that cost us the game. My positioning was not correct. Yeah, my positioning was not correct on a lot of times. I guess Callista can have it. She was doing okay. Top lane got beat back quite a bit. Mid lane got crushed pretty bad. And let's see. There was no, I mean, the sense of re-engage, I mean, when I died, that kind of sounded the death knell for our team. It allowed them to have this mentality of engage, re-engage. The Nasus was still, you know, he was having such a hard time. He couldn't really push, but there was some instances that we were making some things happen. But the problem is because we got behind so much in the early to mid game that the enemy team was still pretty damagey. I did not take into account the amount of damage coming from the Trundle, because he's got a Trinity Force and a Titanic Hydra, which does a lot of damage. And he can pump out a lot of damage with that build. In addition to, he's got Spirit Visage, is going to increase his health regen, so he's a walking, talking tank. And the Tristana has a decent build. His farm isn't especially good, so not a lot of damage coming from the Tristana, but a lot of damage, like I said, coming from the Trundle, which I stepped a little too close, and they were able to slow me and get enough CC on me to where they actually killed me. And Trundle, when I died, the rest of our guys fell to their own devices. It does not help the fact that our top laner and the top and the mid win, but we were very late game heavy, and if we would have played things correctly, we would have gotten ahead. We gotten one Baron, and when we were to get out, we were able to get out of the hot spot. So we just had to pressure, you know, and play safely, and we didn't. Like when they went top and I just stuck my nose out a little too far, then that was game. My decision cost us the game, and I can easily say that. But in addition, my team they went in sort of one by one. They kept trying to re-engage, not really reading the situation well. But when you're in a situation where the blood in your body is excited, you don't necessarily make the right decisions. But what I take with the onus on me is starting that snowball, no pun intended with Nunu. Starting the snowball by dying myself. And that's just me and how cocky I was to step up to a group that has lots of CC. And the main parts of their CC didn't even come from the people that you would expect. It came from the Trundle. He unleashed his burst on me, and I didn't expect that. But I should have given them more respect, clearly. If we could have positioned things a little better, because I felt our team was making plays around me pretty well. They were organizing in that fashion, and we could have easily taken this game back. But because of mostly my mistakes, we did not do well. The Callista, on the other hand, was doing well. The Callista is going to do real well versus the high health minions or high health champions like our Trundle here and the Warwick. And they really don't have a whole lot of defense versus the Callista. So if Callista can get a hold of them, and they have a lot of escapes, it does take them a while, it seems. But we could have taken back this game. Little item analysis. I got Frozen Heart to deal with the damage dealers that rely on auto attacks because it reduces the auto attack by 15%. But of nearby champions, different from Randuin's Omen, which reduces attack damage only from the champion that is attacking you. This applies an aura that will reduce it. As far as Trundle's build, he's built a sort of bursty instead of a damage over time attack speed. So that's one thing I didn't take into account. Again and again, I tell myself I need to look at item builds and what people are building. And these guys, they do a lot of damage offensively, but once they utilize those abilities, or once we catch them out, they really don't have a whole lot in terms of defense. And we have a lot of defense. We have a lot of... but also, Gragas also kind of has a odd build here. He's also going 1, 9, and 8. I don't think the Gragas matchup is good versus the Vigar, unless you can really nail Vigar. But the way that Gragas works is like you have to body slam flash to get over a minion, and then still you have, where's your kill potential? The Vigar even went for a more defensive build, Rod of Ages, to deal with the fact that Gragas could combo Vigar, and he figures I'm going to survive the stun. So I don't think the Gragas matchup, because essentially all you have to do is Vigar is stay behind a minion, and then you won't be comboed. And even if you are comboed or partially comboed, you're not going to die because of items that increase his health, like Rod of Ages. Okay, so I went Frozen Heart in addition to Spirit Visage, and these items were proving to be helpful, but it wasn't enough to where I could just walk up and flagrantly, get so close to where I'm gonna die. And I did not gauge that. I thought that was so crazy that Trundle was able to chunk me like that. And not only that, but to follow me, and I had no way to escape. And either my flash wasn't up or right away, or I was saving my flash. But in the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, I can kite out this dude. But again, I forgot about how Trundle can gain, he can gain movement speed based on his ultimate. And that was pretty gutsy on his part. Like, he understood that he could damage me, but he followed me halfway into, halfway past. He went far past his guys, and he was kind of off on his own there. So he took a bit of a chance, but it did pay off for him to get me. And but he did get killed there. He did risk getting killed. But I figured that my team is going to assist me, maybe even heal me, but we don't. I mean, well, the Leona, I don't know if her Locklear and Solari, but this meta, you get used to people healing you, and so you get out of situations, because when you're healthy, when you have a lot of health, this meta, this Ardent Sensor meta, that's the LCS people, the broadcasters, or the commentators, as they like to call it, it gives the advantage to champions that have high health pools, because if you don't have a high health pool, that means much of some of these heals, these redemptions that come out to sustain your team, if you have low health, it's not going to fill up. It's not going to fill up past your bar. It can fill you full, but if another champion has more health and it goes past the point, Like, let's say it's going to heal for 300, but your champion only has 100 health. But where a tank might have 500 health, he's just been healed for a whole lot more. So it's certainly the meta of the sustained engage, where heals are just so powerful this meta. But we were not really taking that. Neither of our sides are taking that much into account, because she took Leona, and it seems to me that both teams really don't understand the meta, even after I believe Worlds just got over with. And so after Worlds, they start revamping items and how they're going to affect the new meta, and also how they want to affect the new meta. Do they want games lasting longer, shorter, or somewhere in between? Do they, because you got to change things around in the game, otherwise they will definitely become stale. So yeah, this item build and the champion versus a Vigar, I don't think is good at all. And Vigar is 221 to 132, but it does go to set. It does go to it. It is. I would say it's very powerful. However, that Gragas, he's a tanky guy with other tanky guys, and the fact that we are hanging in there, only, well, 10,000 is a pretty big lead, but we were hanging in there, and Gragas has just an awful KDA. In addition to Gnosis, which he's on the back end because he lost his tower. It just goes to show the strength of tanks being able to resist so much. Now, if it wasn't for our bad decision making, then we would have been able to come back, give Callista a bunch of kills, and she would be pretty unstoppable. But yeah, there's so many times where I did not respect the enemy team, where I'm just taking free damage. The Tristana, I'm getting blown up by her. But yeah, I just have to pay attention to where everybody are, and not put myself, if I don't know where people are, I should not put myself in a position where I can be attacked. And in this case, I've got someone who can bind me, I've got someone who can jump on me and slow me, bind, fear, pillar in my face. So they have lots of CC, and I should have respected that. And that's why the fights were all kind of like hobnob, you know, like they lasted a while. Our team had a real tough time trying to kill people. Now we have the Leona with Locket of the Iron Solari. Righteous Glory, I think this is a bad item to get for Leona, just because you already have strong engage ability with your ultimate and your kit. So what is the use of having this item? This is an incorrect item in my opinion. And then I the Equinox for some extra health and some ward ability, plus Ninja Tabi to deal with the damage coming from the Tristana. And then finally the Gnosis, who's got some Deadman's Plague to get around a little faster, Spirit Visage to cut down the damage from Vigar, and the Trundle with the magic procs from the Trinity Force. And Spirit Visage is going to help Gnosis heal. This is pretty much a go-to item for Gnosis. On the other team, you've got Cinder Hulk Warwick with Titanic Hydra. He's going to do a lot of burst damage and sustainability damage, and he's got Mercurial Tread, so he doesn't get CC for too long. Just fine. And then finally, you've got the Vigar, who was pumping out the damage and was pretty dominant in lane. And really, when you're trying to engage and re-engage, you're at such a disadvantage when you're against Vigar, because Vigar has so much burst. And he can just walk away. He does his little walk away until his abilities come back up, and then you're effed in the B. So yeah, these items are perfectly fine. He's even got some survivability of Rod of Ages, and I commend him for this item. It's quite a nice setup. You've got Tristana with Infinity Edge and a Rapid Fire Cannon. I would take either Rapid Fire Cannon first or Static Shiv, depending on how you want to go about it. You can do more single target damage with an item like Rapid Fire Cannon. But if you want to clear waves, so it's like if you feel like you're going to skirmish, you're going to fight more, go for rapid fire cannon. And that's pretty much what happened. They had to push the early game, and getting a rapid fire cannon really helps push the early game. Static Shiv will help, but it's more for things like clearing waves, and you will chunk someone, but you won't have the same sustain damage as you would with an item like rapid fire cannon. So he wants more damage right now, so he can influence the mid game. About when he would have this set up. The Trundle, he got ahead early, so he was able to get some powerful items and able to do things like kill me in the top lane, and kill me in top lane several times. But I would say he was a competent guy that understood his abilities, and he warded in such a way that he could get a kill, and he pillared in such a way that it would make it very difficult to get away from him killing you. So he definitely had a plan in mind. And then finally the Bard. The Bard I don't think was especially useful, but he did get a lot of supports. He's got Frost Queen's Claim. He's got ZZ Rot Portal, which is kind of like goofy items. And then finally Frozen Heart, which is his most, maybe not his most useful compared to this, but his most useful defense item, because it's always going to be active when we're around Bard. And this will make it difficult to get away from people. Like if we're trying to get away and he puts one of these ghosts on us, then we're pretty much slowed until we can get CC further into getting dead. So yeah, we made a lot of mistakes this game. We could have come back, but we really in the last part of that, we really needed to ward properly. We needed to engage the enemy team when someone's out of position, and what you do with that is you just reposition yourself until they reposition themselves, and maybe one of their teammates decides, I want to do something else, and then that's when you try to capitalize on that. They were still a formidable bunch, which still made those team fights difficult in the end. So when they were killing us, we had some advantage, but their advantage in the early game was really making it, it was making it closer, but they might have had a slight advantage. And as far as the Gragas is concerned, this build is not, I just don't like this build. Nearby enemy champions take 10% more damage. Yeah, I just don't like this build. I particularly don't even like Gragas going mid versus a Veigar. Unless you're just like the master and you're going to expect a gank early on, and Veigar is not the easiest person to gank. And all he has to do is stay near his turret. A lot of Vigars will do that because they know that they have a lot of weaknesses. And so yeah, so I was Nunu jungle, and it's possible that because of all our late game, that I should have gone an early game champion or a mid game spike champion, early to mid, to really propel the rest of our team. That is something else that I could have thought about. All right, guys. Just to stem the late game, just to give late game a chance, and I think that might have been a good call to bring out Vi. So I need to pay attention to that. If we are so late game heavy, it's definitely in my jungler's favor to have an early to mid game spike champion. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learned something, because I'm definitely learning a few things, and lots of mistakes coming from me and my positioning, my character selection based on the composition of the entire team. But I think I had I had like third pick or something. So it's not easy to know what your team's picking all the time. So you have to take that into account as well. So, but I'm going to end that there before I talk my way. Before I talk to then I just collapse. Ugh. It's like this guy just talked until he collapsed. Alright, guys. This is Arch, and I'm signing out. Hi-yo!